Hi, my name is Abigail Lange, and I'm going to be talking to you about public policy in reference to healthy city planning. And I included a picture of the Oklahoma River here and the logo for Maps 3 because I think it's a good example of the relatively recent efforts that Oklahoma in particular has made in the area of urban design. So, starting off, why is urban planning important in the field of public health? Well, probably the most effective way to illustrate this is to look at a time where city planning failed in its obligation to its population. And this is the American Industrial Revolution. Now, in England, they did go through their own process, but for the sake of this presentation, I'm only going to focus on the US. So, in the late 18th and early 19th century, the US saw a huge shift in where most of the population lived and worked. And this is due to the invention of things like large-scale factories and the textile factories, which employed thousands of human workers. This allowed for a huge, unchecked boom in urbanization, which comes with problems. Crowded streets, unsanitary conditions, and overcrowding all lead to an environment which is not good for public health. Infectious diseases like cholera, diphtheria, and tuberculosis were all very prevalent, largely due to the poor environment most of the working class lived in. In addition to disease, children often died in accidents because there wasn't any safe places for them to play. Now, the shift to a more urban economy isn't necessarily a bad thing. And there's a good quote from the World Health Organization director that reads the following. In general, urban populations are better off than their rural counterparts. They tend to have greater access to social and health services, and their life expectancy is longer. But cities can also concentrate threats to health, such as inadequate sanitation, and refuse collection, pollution, road traffic accidents, and outbreaks of infectious diseases, and also unhealthy lifestyles. So this really just highlights the importance of why you need to look at public health in reference to city planning. So let's take a step back here and remember the determinants of health that we learned in this class. As you will remember, there are several different determinants of health, one of them being the social and environmental conditions that a person lives in. This includes things that would be highly influenced by city planning, like water, sanitation, and housing. The environment of a community can clearly influence the actions of the population, such as the availability of bike paths, and in turn, it's going to affect their health. Creating an environment where people can bike safely to work encourages people to stray away from the modern dependence on cars, and parks help encourage people to spend time outside, which not only improves their physical health, but it also improves their mental health and strengthens the overall community. A good article published by the CDC in 2006 states that there are 3 areas in which it's evident that public health and city planning are indeed merged in many ways. They are A, the creation of green space to promote physical activity, social integration, and better mental health. This is things like parks and bike paths. The second is the prevention of infectious diseases through community infrastructure, such as drinking water and sewage systems, which this is obviously a point that was highly critical and in many ways failed during the time of the American Industrial Revolution. The third is protection of persons from hazardous industrial exposures and injury risks through land use and zoning ordinance. This is things like, where do schools go? Where do factories which possibly pose a threat and carcinogens, where do they go? Proper zoning can make sure that a school isn't right next door to a polluting factory, or that a neighborhood isn't right beside something that is dangerous for children. The importance of healthy city planning is just as important, if not even more so today. According to the U.S. Census Bureau data, 2013 alone saw 2.3 million more people living in metropolitan areas than in 2012, with 269 million people now living in cities and their surrounding areas. In 2013, the total U.S. population was 316.2 million. So in 2013, more than 2/3 of the U.S. population lived in the metropolitan areas. One of the ways in which Oklahoma City has been using urban design to try to encourage healthier city environments is with their MAPS projects over the recent years. If you visited OKC recently, you might have noticed the relatively new walking trail that connects the Bricktown Canal to the Oklahoma River. And the Oklahoma River itself has also seen a number of new constructions like the River Sport Adventures, which includes whitewater rafting, kayaking, and sky trails. MAPS 3 itself, according to the Oklahoma City's website, is a capital improvement program that uses a 1-cent limited term sales tax to pay for debt-free projects that improve quality of life. It includes a number of projects like better public transit with streetcars, a senior health and wellness center, and more trails for walking and biking in the city. All of these things aim to promote a healthier lifestyle. So the point to take home with all of this is the connection between city planning and public health is crucial. It is so vital that cities are planned in such a way that promotes health. This includes promoting a safe environment which affects all areas of health, the social, the mental, and the physical. This can be seen in zoning codes and sanitation, in building recreation parks and safe bike trails for people to ride. With proper planning, cities can create safer and healthier communities.